There's a saying in education that until the third grade, about the third grade, kids are learning to read. After that point, they're reading to learn. But what if your child never completes that first step? What if they never learn to read? Not really, not proficiently anyway. If that's the case, then they can't be expected to then read to learn. And the statistics show that's a big problem that will follow them into adolescence and even adulthood. That's where Daniel Hernandez comes in. Daniel, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
You are the founder. You take that title reluctantly, but you did found this program, Read by Third. You yourself have an interesting background that got you to this point. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it goes back to the fact that my wife is very much involved as a pre-kinder teacher. I've worked with various groups. My parents were very instrumental in presenting an image and vision for myself and my brothers. And so when this idea came up in the last couple of years, we decided to implement the notion of helping parents, focusing on the parents to help their children be successful.
Right. And that's because children spend 70% of their time at home. That's a number you gave me, 70% of their time at home. So that alone seems like reason enough to get the parents involved in education. But what specifically is so important about having the parents involved in that process?
Well, because parents are the ones, and studies show, that parents' number one role that they do is influence and inspire children. That's what they can do. And regardless of who the teacher is or what's going on in school, if parents model it, if they in fact encourage it, children will respond. And that's what we're attempting to do here. We're trying to do three things in our program, Read by Third, is transform the thinking and vision of the parents. So mom and dad, or whoever's at home, will in fact see the potential for what their children can become in the future. Two is to equip them with skill sets and strategies on how to help the families. And then three, we provide them access to different activities across the community. We have rich resources here.
Sure. I would imagine that one of your biggest obstacles is, of course, that parents are busy. They're thinking about picking up the carpool on time, putting dinner on the table, paying for dance classes. They're not always thinking about their child's education. So what are some easy, simple, quick, everyday things that parents can do to instill this love of learning or this love of reading?
Well, there are a couple of things. One is by talking to the children. Talking is tremendous. In fact, there's a concept, a book by Annette LaRoe, and it's called Unequal Childhood. And she says that in her studies and research, those parents that talk to their children, read to their children, provide opportunities for the children, those children, by the time they get to kindergarten, they have heard 30 million more words than those children whose parents did not engage them.
30 million?
Yes.
Surely not.
Look it up.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
And that's just by engaging the children. That is truly by doing the everyday thing of what? Telling your kid what you're doing to make dinner?
For example, if a child comes to you and says, "What's this?" That if the mom or dad says, "Leave it alone, it's your dad's," the conversation's over. But if the child comes up to you and says, "What is this?" Let's say it's a 2-year, 3-year-old child. You say, "Well, what color is it? What do you think it is? What do you call it? You want to use it?" So you're explaining to the child, and that child gets exposed in context to what these words mean. So these 30 million words amount to contextually understanding the words and their meaning. So when they get to kindergarten, they're ready to read, but also they're comprehending what they're reading.
Sure. And before we go, I want to give you the opportunity to highlight some of these groups around town that have been helping you out with this mission. Who's been doing that for you?
Well, we've had some big supporters. Judge Travis Bryan, he stepped up front. We've had the David and Julia Gardner jewelers. They stepped up front. Mark Scarmato with Farm Patch, Cece's Pizza.
And some Texas A&M groups.
And some Texas A&M groups. We've had 25 volunteers.
Wow.
Opus MSC, the 12th Man. We've had the Natural History Museum. So it's just an array of folks. And then, of course, General Joe Ramirez, the Corps of Cadets, we spent half a day with his group one Saturday, and it was fabulous. It's, again, providing access to these children and parents about what's available and what they can accomplish given the vision that they could have for their children.
Absolutely. And for parents who want to get involved with this program, we are going to put that information on kbtx.com just a little bit later for you if we want to get involved. Ms. Hernandez, thank you so much for being here with us, telling us about